My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. For this adventure, I just made it out to the campsite that I'm going to stay at. Let me tell you folks, the view out here is incredible. Check this out. Finally, a nice campsite with a great view. Most of the time, I'm deep in the woods, surrounded by trees, so this is definitely different. As far as the weather conditions go today, it is beautiful. Temperature 64 degrees. It's incredibly warm. At the same time, it's fairly breezy. Hopefully it stays the same or calms down just a little bit. Ultimately, we have no control over this, so we will see what happens together. In this adventure, the primary focus is a tent that I purchased off of Temu, a very inexpensive tent. Recently, I put up a preview of this tent, and in this episode, we're gonna test it out. Because this is an inexpensive tent that I purchased off of Temu, I'm not going to trust this product. That's why this is not a backpacking trip. I have my vehicle here just in case I need to bail. Because the thing is this, when it comes to Temu or any Chinese site, when it comes to cheap gear, you never know what you're going to get. I look at these type of products as a gamble, and before I purchase anything, I ask myself, what am I willing to lose? 20 bucks, 40 bucks, 100 bucks. As for this tent here, it was 120 bucks. So I took a gamble on it because it looked interesting. So far, I have to say I'm impressed. Is it going to leak? Is it going to be a good shelter? I don't know. Let's find out together. To start off, let's go ahead and let's set up this tent real quick. I just got the tent all set up, and here comes the wind, even stronger now. Hopefully that's not a sign of what's to come. The forecast is not calling for any wind, so I'm not really sure where this is coming from. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the forecast is wrong, but whatever. The tent has been fully staked out. I do have the door open and up. As you can see, it's an awning as well as a door. For now, I'll leave it this way, especially as I get the tent ready for tonight. As you all can see here, the design of this tent is very interesting. The actual length of this is incredibly long. It is over 7 foot long. Perfect for one person, no doubt. At the same time, this tent has a ton of ventilation. You can see here that the body's covered in mesh, and when you're inside of the tent, there's a ton of airflow. The tent is all set up for the evening. The sleeping pad is the One Tigress Obsidian, which is a 4th season pad that I am currently testing out. The blanket on top is a product from Snugpak. I reviewed this many years ago. To this day, I continue to love this product. The Snugpak Jungle Blanket is excellent. It's inexpensive, it's warm, it's just an awesome product. It's funny, over the years, I have purchased maybe 40 of those. And I'm sure you're wondering, why have I purchased 40 of those? I'll tell you why. Anytime that I meet a viewer of the channel who has a child who's interested in the outdoors, I buy them a jungle blanket. So over the years, I have purchased literally like 40 of these things. If it's a boy, they get a jungle blanket. If it's a girl, they get something more girly. Without a doubt, this is an awesome product that continues to perform well. Even though the quality of Snugpak has gone down, the prices have gone up, the quality of this product is still good to this day. What I need to start thinking about is a tarp setup here. I do have a few trees here that I can use to set up the tarp, but the overall placement of these trees is not the best. I'm going to think about this for a second, and I'll bring you all back as soon as I've figured out what I want to do. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Talk about a beautiful campsite. This really is one. Incredible views. The area is relatively flat. We do have some trees. That's good. Huge fire pit. It's kind of funny. There's this gigantic fire pit here, but yet all of the dry wood in this area has been burned. So everybody who's coming here having a fire, they're having to bring their own wood. A few years back, I came out for a trip. I wrapped it up. I was going home. I was driving this road here. And so I'm like driving the road and I come across a log in the road, right? Keep on going. Here's another one. Keep on going. Here's another log. Somebody had dropped their firewood out of the back of their truck or whatever. There was dry firewood randomly placed all over that road for miles. That sucks. I feel bad for that person. That's funny. I don't believe I've told you all the weather forecast for this trip. So later on tonight, around 9 o'clock, rain is coming in. The forecast says that over the course of the night, a 1/4 inch of rain is going to fall. And then it's going to rain for the rest of the day tomorrow, and so on. So this should be a very good rain test for our Temu tent. Some viewers can become very upset when it comes to Chinese products. Unfortunately, within the outdoor space, most products are made in China or Vietnam or the Philippines. There are very few US-made outdoor products. There are a few exceptions. For an example, Thermarest makes sleeping pads right here in the United States. The thing is, if you want a sleeping pad from Thermarest, you're going to pay for it. There are a few companies out there who have experimented with making 2 versions of a product. For an example, Kelty made a tent some years back. They had a Chinese-made version and a version that was made in the United States. The tents were exactly the same. The only difference was where they were made at. The Chinese version cost $150. The one made here in the United States, $650. In my opinion, one of those tents made sense, the other did not. I personally do my best to support as many American companies as I can, as it makes sense. Something to consider is that I have to purchase everything here on the channel, 99-98%, something like that, and what I review is based upon your feedback. If I see that there's a lot of interest in a certain product, I get it in to review. That's how it works. It doesn't matter to me where the product's made at. It's all about your feedback. Now, with that being said, talking about Chinese products specifically, I'm going to share with you all how I see things, and you're free to completely disagree. That's completely fine. Here with the channel, you don't have to agree with me at all. You can think differently. You can see things differently. When I give a review, I'm sharing my thoughts. I'm not sharing your thoughts. I'm sharing mine. You're always free to disagree. We're all individuals. We think differently. That's fine. When I purchase a product from Temu, for an example, I look at it like this. I'm still supporting American jobs. Think about the workers who are bringing it across the sea. Think about the workers who are unloading it. Think about the custom agents who have to approve it. Think about the individuals who then truck it across the country. Think of the fuel that's being purchased for those trucks to deliver those goods. Think about the individuals who have to process the mail, then the person who delivers it, so on and so forth. That is how I look at purchasing a product like this or any other product. We're still supporting American jobs. It is easy to forget about all of the people who are working behind the scenes. You may be purchasing a product that was made in China, but at the same time, you're putting food on the plates of Americans. That's important to consider. Now, of course, you're free to disagree. I'm not saying that things are perfect because they're far from it. Anytime that I'm having a conversation with a viewer about American-made products versus Chinese, I ultimately say the same thing. If you don't like the way things are right now, vote and change it. Do something about it. Don't complain to me about it because I control absolutely nothing other than my vote. That, my friends, is how I see it. Cheers. It's quiet out here. This time of year, it's quiet out here. In a few months, this place is going to be super, super busy. non-stop overlanders. Just one after the other. Not too many motorcycles, but some, mostly dirt bikes. I just noticed, everybody, I had a tick crawling on my pants. It came from my coffee cup. I had placed it down on the ground, put it right here in my lap, and that's where it was. It is that time, folks. We have to worry about ticks again. The truth is, you have to worry about them all the time. It doesn't matter if it's 10 degrees outside, 20 degrees, or like today when it's like 60. On many occasions, I've pulled ticks off of myself at 10 degrees Fahrenheit. It's because of ticks that I treat my clothing with permethrin. Permethrin is an insecticide. Yes, it's a chemical. I don't like chemicals just like everybody else, but you have to do what you have to do. So with that tick there, it was crawling around, but within no time, it would have been dead. As for the conditions, it's still windy. But luckily, with this tent here, it's actually blocking some of the wind, so I can sit out here, and I'm perfectly fine. As you all have seen, I set up a tarp, and that's really more for like protection later on tonight going into tomorrow. Wake up, run over there, stay dry. And that's because the weather forecast says that it's going to begin raining tonight, and it's going to rain all day tomorrow. It will be interesting to see whether or not this tent is waterproof. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to gamble. This, everyone, is awesome. So what I have here is some broccoli in a red vinaigrette sauce. Or dressing, something. No matter what it is, it's amazing. I salted it just a little bit. It is so good. As far as the time goes, it is now 6:10. The sun goes down in about 10 minutes. The temperature is dropping and the winds are picking up just a little bit. Man, that is good. That is so simple, but yet so tasty. As far as the cheeseburger goes, it's plain and simple. We have lettuce, tomato, a little bit of garlic salt, some pepper, and we have some mustard and mayonnaise with a side of ketchup. This is amazing. Plain, simple, and delicious. Now that I'm eating, I discovered just how hungry I am. I don't want to talk to you, I just want to eat. Man, that's good. I'll tell you what, everybody, I'm going to enjoy this meal and I'll talk to you all in just a bit. Dinner was amazing. That cheeseburger was the best one that I've had in a long time. It was so good. Even the broccoli was amazing. As you all could see, it's getting dark. We have about 5 minutes of light left. I went ahead, cleaned up, and now the question is, what do I do? As far as the time goes, it's only 6:45. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a fire tonight. I already discussed that a little bit. There's no wood around here. I mean, this place is so popular in the summertime, you would be lucky to find a stick this big to burn, to be honest. I might spend a little bit of time underneath the tarp talking to you all. Then I think I'm going to call it a night. Something we should think about is the possibility of this tent leaking. So maybe I should get as much sleep as possible before it rains, because I might have to bolt out of that tent. I don't know. That's something to think about there. It's definitely within the realm of possibility. As far as this tent goes, I have no idea what's going to happen. It might leak, it might not. I simply do not know. Drinking coffee at 7 p.m. might be a bad idea. Generally, I could fall asleep after drinking coffee. The only thing is like I have crazy dreams, like super vivid, really bizarre dreams. I love going to sleep. I mean, it's like you're going on some crazy adventure every single night. I'll tell you what, everybody, there is something I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about, just for a second here, a man named Steve. Steve is one of us. He's one of the viewers of the channel, and his daughter sent me a message the other day and said that he just recently passed away. He'd been fighting the good fight against cancer, and he lost. And the way that she spoke about Steve is the way that I hope my kids talk about me when I'm gone. It was very clear, very evident that Steve was a good man. It really did sound like he was a stand-up individual, and his daughter was just saying that Basically, anytime somebody would come over and be with them, they would watch my adventures. That's awesome. So, this cheers is to Steve. Cheers, my friend. On to the next adventure. This is what the forecast says, everyone. Showers likely mainly after 9 p.m. Patchy fog after 3 a.m. Chance of rain 70%. Rainfall amounts around 1/4 inch. Tomorrow, rain 100% chance up to 1/2 inch. And it's just rain every single day. As for the winds, it says south 6 to 8 miles an hour. That's not bad. Well, everybody, it is now 8:30. I'm inside of the tent and I'm going to call it a night. My plan is to get as much sleep as possible before the rain starts, just in case. You never know what's going to happen with a cheap tent, so who knows. A few minutes ago, I checked the weather and it has increased the amount of rain that's coming in tonight. It says now 1/2 inch of rain. That's a pretty good amount. That's definitely a good test for this tent. Everybody, I will see you all in the morning. Good night for now. Good morning, everybody. It's around 4:30 in the morning. I have an update for you all. Surprise, surprise, this tent is waterproof. It has not leaked a bit, and it's been pouring outside. In fact, right now, there's like a river of water surrounding us. At the same time, it's windy. I'm glad I'm inside of this tent, and I'm going back to sleep. Oh yeah. My friends, good morning. Good morning. As far as the time goes, it is now 7:12. It says on the watch here that it's 53 degrees, 94% humidity, and we are at 3,330 feet. This morning, it's fairly chilly because of all of the moisture in the air, the humidity, but it's windy too. Luckily, we have this tarp set up. This is a lifesaver. While I stayed dry inside of that tent, it's very small. It's long, but it's small. I was in that tent last night, and I was thinking about how it would be the perfect stealth camping tent. The black material blocks out 95% of the light coming out of it, so you can be inside of that thing, stealth camping, lights on, and only a small amount of light would be coming through. The tent is waterproof. How about that? The inexpensive Temu tent. I took a gamble on it, and I won. With where I set the tent up, it is actually up on a rise there. So the inside of the tent is completely dry, but everything around it is basically flooded. That's one reason why you have to carefully select your campsites when you go out. Wow, what a beautiful place, you know? Very, very cool. Something else that I like a lot is the 4Runner. I've been receiving quite a few questions about it. What do I think about it? Do I miss the truck? I do not miss the truck, not at all. It was a fantastic Tundra. I loved it, but I was ready for something different, something smaller. As you all saw yesterday, it easily fit inside of this campsite. I was able to navigate this area very easily. Navigating this site with the truck would not have been easy because it's just so big. But I definitely love the 4Runner. It's good to be back to one of those. I don't know if I spoke about this in the previous adventure, but I sold the Tundra for more than I bought it for. Isn't that something? The whole vehicle market is insane right now, you know? Like Toyota, for an example, like their vehicles are so hot, they're flying off the lots. Toyota's been setting like records every single month for sales, but from what I've heard, that's not the case with other brands. Not only did I get more for my truck than I paid for it, but with the incentives, you know, the discounts and whatnot, then factor in the tax write-off, I did pretty good on this. You may be wondering whether or not I missed the truck and how loud it was. You know, the truck sounded great, it really did, and I thought I would miss it, but I've really grown to enjoy how quiet this vehicle is. It is so quiet, whereas the truck was so loud. I mean, redneck loud. I'm a redneck. Welcome to the South. That's how it works. Cheers. Let's check the weather forecast this morning and see what they say. It says rain with patchy fog before 1 p.m., high near 52, winds up to 8 miles an hour, chance of rain 100%. Rain amounts 1 inch today. So last night, I would say a good ½ inch fell. Considering that point, that makes that tent so much more impressive. It's a cheap Temu tent and it didn't leak at all, even with heavy rain all night long. The rain started last night around 9:30 and it's been on like Kong all night, all morning. It says it's going to rain tonight. It's going to rain tomorrow. It's going to rain Friday, Saturday. It is always raining up here in the mountains. And at the same time, it's always windy. This is pretty good. It's probably the equivalent of a candy bar though. Nature's Bakery Oatmeal Crumble Strawberry. Let's don't look at the nutritional information. Let's just eat it. The ultimate combo. Bite, coffee sip. I'm thinking about what I want to do. It's 7:30, pouring the rain, super windy, a little cold. I'm thinking about packing up and heading out of here. What do you all think? If you were here instead of me, what would you do right now? Would you stay? Would you go? It's gonna rain all day, all night, tomorrow, the next day, and so on. What would you do? This is pretty funny, everybody. I got a message from Susie saying good morning, how you doing, all that stuff. And she asked about that tent and whether or not it leaked. And I said, nope, it didn't leak. It's another Temu tent win. And she says, why is it that Bushnell tents leak and Temu tents don't? I have no idea. It shouldn't be that way. When it comes to the table here, the cookware, and all of that stuff, I purchased this a few years ago, and just now am I getting around to actually using it. I bought this for like overlanding purposes, and this is the most expensive outdoor product I have ever purchased. Or I should say, the most expensive outdoor products. This is actually two different components here. This kit is incredibly awesome. It is so well thought out, well designed. The quality's pretty good for what it is. I will have to say, when it comes to the water jug here, I did have to make 2 repairs, because when it comes to the water jug here, unfortunately, I had to make 2 repairs. It leaked from 2 different locations. Luckily, I was able to fix that pretty easy, but everything else has been really solid. Incredibly cool, incredibly well thought out, ultra expensive. Alright, everybody, it is time to pack up. It is time to go. Breaking everything down is going to be fairly easy, straightforward. Most of the components are large. I can easily just grab them, put them up. Inside of the tent, I went ahead and broke down everything already. I do that as soon as I wake up before I exit the tent every single time I'm out for a trip. I roll up the sleeping pad, I compress the sleeping bag, and so on. I get all of that done so I don't have to do it later. I tell you what, everybody, before I break down all of this wet stuff, let me tell you all what I do with it. So inside of the vehicle here, I have 2 large dry bags. They're like 75-liter dry bags. I will take all of this wet stuff, the tent, the tarp, the poles, the stakes. I'll put everything inside of those bags and then roll them up. That way, the inside of the vehicle doesn't get wet. It doesn't get nasty. That is how I go about storing all of this wet stuff when I go out for a wet trip. And it works really, really well. All right, everybody. It is time to go. My friends, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this trip. I hope you all had a great time just like I did. Can you believe it? The Temu tent did not leak. That's impressive. Oh man, I am absolutely soaked and it's time to go home. So everybody take care, be well. I will see you all next week with some new reviews in the next adventure. Bye for now.